Hello, and welcome to the After Dark podcast. Some themes and topics of this show are dark, disturbing, and in some cases, extremely spooky. Listener discretion is advised. Now turn off your lights, or find a dark stretch of road, and please welcome Gunnar Glenn and Katie Every. Hello and welcome to the After Dark podcast. Some themes and topics of this show are dark, disturbing, and in some cases, extremely spooky. Listener discretion is advised. Now, turn off your lights or find a dark stretch of road, and please welcome Gunnar Glenn and Katie Every. Hello and welcome to the After Dark podcast. Some themes and topics of the show are dark, disturbing, and in some cases extremely spooky. Listener discretion is advised. Now turn off your lights and find a dark stretch of road, and please welcome Gunnar Glenn and Katie Every. I didn't think you'd want to use that one. I just wanted to do it for fun. Hello and welcome to the After Dark podcast. Some themes and topics of this show are dark, disturbing, and in some cases, extremely spooky. Listener discretion is advised. Now, turn off your lights or find a dark stretch of road, and please welcome Gunnar Glenn and Katie Every.
Hey there, it's your host, Gunnar Glenn. I'm here with my co-host / stepsister, Katie Every.
And I'm here with my cousin's nephew's uncle, Gunnar Glenn.
It's something different every time. It's
We're related, maybe.
Are we?
Maybe.
Why do we have a different last name if we're related?
Because third cousins don't have the same last name.
Oh, yeah.
Duh.
I married into the family. Yeah. What are you doing, stepbro? All right.
None of that.
Guys, if you can't tell, it's like the middle of the night, and I think we're both in our like crackhead energy at the moment.
It's too late. It's too late for this.
It is, but
Somebody had to see the new Spider-Man movie.
yeah, and I plan on spoiling it completely.
Oh my gosh.
No, I would never do
No.
that. I'm not that type of person. I did, however, there is a Instagram page for a college, which I don't even go to. I don't go to this college, but they have a Google page where you could go and send things anonymously, and then they post it on an Instagram page. And for whatever reason, I saw this, and I thought it would be funny if I just terrorized this poor Instagram community.
Really?
Yeah, so I've been sending like stories in that just like aren't true. Like one time I claimed that I was a girl and I peed in a drunk girl's mouth the night prior, and then I felt guilty about it.
No, you shouldn't. Wait, I want to know what this page is so I can like go on and be
I'll
like,
send it
I
to
can
you.
confirm I was at the party.
I'll send it to you. But
That was my best friend. She hates you.
While
That's
I
so
was
funny.
waiting to go into the movie today, I sent one in claiming that Spider-Man died at the end of the movie and sent it
Are
in.
you serious?
And yeah, and they reposted it, and the comments are all like, bruh.
They're out for blood. Speaking of
Yeah.
Spider-Man, there's this dude who dresses up as Spider-Man and like walks around my campus. And like I don't know who he is, and I'm pretty sure he just does it for attention because like one time I saw him and he like started walking one way and then like realized no one was like paying attention to him. So then he like just turned around and started walking the other way, like with like no context. But so one day I have this epic photo in my camera roll. One day there was this guy who, it was like a really chilly day on campus, and this guy was at a garage sale earlier that morning and saw a dog cage for like and decided to buy it, and then decided to come to campus and sit in this dog cage all day. Like it was pretty chilly out. This man had like a t-shirt and shorts on and no shoes. I don't know where his shoes were. And he sat in this dog cage all day long. And everyone kept walking up to him and they were like, are you advocating for something? Are you like trying to like what's the word? Are you trying to like make a statement? Just like stuff like that. And he's like, nope, I bought this dog cage and I decided to come here. And everyone was like asking him all these questions, and he was like, "No, that's literally what it is. You can take it as you want. I'm just here." And anyway, so I found this picture later of not only the man in the cage, but the guy as Spider-Man like together in one photo. And I think that's like the most epic photo I have of me being in college so far.
I was totally expecting him to say something like, "I'm just hoping Spider-Man will come save me" or something. Like,
That would been actually really funny. But no. Everyone kept asking him like his political opinions and like why he was there. Like a bunch of people were like, "Why are you here? Like, are you trying to make a statement?" Blah blah blah. And he was like, "Nope, I literally bought this morning." And I'm just standing there, and I'm like, "Dude, do you need medical attention?"
It just sounds like the college experience. Like,
Yeah.
kids like knocked on Ashton's door one time. One was holding a piece of red velvet cake, and one was holding a piece of chocolate cake. And they asked her to do a blind taste test and tell her which one was better or something. Like,
You want to know why they did that?
because they were bored.
Because red velvet because red velvet is just chocolate cake dyed red.
You see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that until
Okay,
Ashton told me that.
I don't know if that's really true or not, but I guess like I mean, I guess so, but I feel like it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, like I totally thought red velvet was its own thing until
I guess
Ashton
I don't
told me.
well, I guess I don't know what red velvet would be,
Yeah.
but like just to think that it's a different taste than chocolate, but like I 100% don't believe it's chocolate. You know, I think that's the part that gets me.
Yeah. I
I
totally
don't
get that. I like we had like a full on like conversation about it. I won't say argument because I wasn't like hell bent on it, but I was like, "Are
know.
you sure?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Then why is it a thing?" And she was like, "I don't know. It's a thing."
I I don't know why either. I guess maybe I don't know, maybe the same way there's like chocolate cake, but there's also like devil's food cake and you know, there's like a ton of I don't know, there's like different variations of chocolate, so maybe it's just another variation
Mhm.
that's good with cream cheese frosting.
Yeah. By the way, guys, instead of telling scary stories, we decided we're going to be a baking podcast. So we're just going to talk about like
I don't know.
baking.
Actually, I'm just gonna turn on a really fake British accent, and then it's gonna be like lit after dark British Bake Off edition.
Yes.
I'm gonna be
We
like,
have like
"Hello,
Gordon Ramsay as a
everybody."
special guest one night. Like, if something like that were to ever happen, he would have to like love you but hate me. Just because I think that would be like the perfect dynamic is him like telling you how great you are and him telling me to like do better, you know, calling me
Wait,
an
who are you
idiot
talking about?
sandwich. Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, I have to do the Secret Santa this weekend that I haven't bought anything for yet. And the guy was like, "Oh, I really like cookbooks. Like especially I really like Gordon or he's like I really like cooking, I especially like Gordon Ramsay." So I was gonna get him this like Gordon Ramsay cookbook, but realized that I don't know, it's this weekend and Amazon is not gonna pull through. So
Mhm.
I'm kind of like, "Oh boy, I should really go to the mall."
Get him a McDonald's gift card.
That'd be really funny.
Be like, you said you like to cook.
Said you're a connoisseur, so here's some really great food. Or I'll just get him like a $2 gift card to like 10 different places.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that'd be
These
like
aren't
$100
spent. I just
bucks. Should we dive into today's topic since
I
it's 10
think
minutes into the
we
recording?
I think we should go ahead.
All right. Katie, do you want to know what we're talking about tonight?
Boy, do I ever.
What we're talking about tonight is, drumroll please,
Boo.
the Black Eyed Kids.
I don't even know what that is. Oh
Ooh,
no.
you are in for a treat, Katie. The Black
Ah,
Eyed Kids.
how do you always find these things? Like I literally have never heard of this before.
I've been into scary stuff since before you were born.
Well,
That's probably why.
okay. Time for a new fear to be unlocked. Let's go.
I say that like I'm old, like I'm not only a year older than you.
When
Like,
I was born. No, I actually know somebody and she's like not even that much older than me. And she does that all the time. She'll be like, "Oh, when I was your age." I'm like, "You are 3 years older than me." You
you
were
are
born
my
in
age.
yeah, literally. Okay, continue.
Alrighty, so Katie, you say that you've never heard of the Black Eyed Kids before, and that's really interesting to me.
Wait, I gotta just pause you. I'm so sorry. Whenever you started saying black eye, my brain was like black eyed peas.
Oh yeah, that's what I got. That's like what turned me off to them for a long time because I could only imagine the Black Eyed Peas whenever I was listening to podcasts and like researching these things. I could
That's
only
so funny.
imagine the Black Eyed Peas
That's
being in
so.
this
Can you imagine?
situation.
Like, I don't even know who these kids are, but can you imagine? Can you imagine they just start singing like "Boom Boom Pow"? Like they're about to like kill you, and they're like "Boom Boom Pow."
Man,
Okay, good.
although I think I would rather have an interaction with the Black Eyed Kids than the Black Eyed Peas.
What?
I'm not really
Wrong.
into the Black Eyed Peas that much, you know.
You were okay. Okay. Well, I will let you know my opinion once you finish your story. So continue.
Alrighty. So our first story happens to take place in Texas back in 1996.
Hmm.
Brian Bethel, who was a journalist at the time, wrote in a police report that he was in his car one night using the light of a nearby theater marquee to fill out a check that he had planned on mailing that evening. Suddenly, two kids who were wearing dirty, baggy clothing and smelled horrible approached his door and knocked on it. So, Katie, this startled him. He put down his window though, because I mean it's two kids. You can't just ignore kids at your door.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
that rhymed. I'm sorry, guys. He couldn't understand why, but for some reason he was terrified of these kids, like more so than you'd be startled just by seeing two kids.
Got that gut instinct.
Right, you know, something wasn't right about them, but he couldn't put his finger on what it was.
Hmm.
That's when the kids explained that they needed a ride home. They forgot their money at home, but they wanted to go see a movie that night. Here's the strange thing, though, and this is how he knew things weren't right. He looked at his clock and noticed that it was 9:30 p.m. So he then asked the kids what movie they planned on seeing, which happened to be Mortal Kombat. He then looked up at the marquee and saw that the last showing of Mortal Kombat started at 9:30. And I made a mistake, guys. It was past 9:45 when he looked at that. And
Oh,
the
okay.
last
I was
showing
like,
of the
oh, dude, they
movie,
like just missed the movie. That sucks.
yeah, no, the last showing of the movie started at 9:30 and it was past 9:45. So
Hmm.
by the time that he would take them home, they got their money and he brought them back, the movie would be well past halfway over.
Yeah.
Yet for some reason these kids kept really persisting on Brian giving them a ride home.
Why can't they just walk home? What time did they leave to walk to the movie theater?
I have no clue, but he was very uncomfortable and he straight up just said, "No, I can't give you a ride home."
Yeah.
That's whenever the kids demanded a ride home and
What?
revealed that one of them then let down his hood to show that his eyes were all black.
Oh, no.
They then explained that they could not get inside of the car unless he told them that it was okay, unless he invited them to come inside of the car.
If something asks you to invite, nope. If something shows up at your door, no matter what door you're at, and it has to be invited in, that's when you know that's a no.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more.
Hmm.
However, as he was looking the kid in the eyes and the kid was explaining this to him, for
Kid
some
has no eyes.
reason, oh yeah, the kid had no.
Hmm.
For some reason, he was reaching over to unlock the door and let them in. He wasn't meaning to do this. He was just almost being manipulated into it without realizing it. And the second he realized what was happening, he quickly kicked his car into gear and sped off, leaving the kids behind.
Bye.
Hmm.
Is that okay?
And he went and reported it to the police.
Oh, cool. Good for
Yeah,
him.
you
Most
know.
people would have been like, I went home that night, enjoyed a nice little bath, went to bed. Didn't think much of it until the next day. This man was like, no, I'm calling the police. These kids smelt bad and they had no eyes. And where are their parents? Why did they miss the movie?
Now, for some reason, after this story hit the interwebs, people then started to come out with their own stories about the Black Eyed Kids.
Ooh.
Um, one person told a story about how they were a kid and their mom was getting their hair done one day. And you know how kids are. Kids, if they don't want to be somewhere, they're going to make it known that they don't want to be there.
Oh
So
yeah,
he
kids get
insisted.
bored too. Yeah.
Yeah. So he insisted on staying and waiting in the car for the entire time that the mom would be getting her hair done.
Understandable.
So, while the mom's inside getting her hair done, one of the kids comes up to the window with a hood up and asks to be let inside of the car. And the kid was like, "The doors are locked. My mom told me not to unlock the doors for anyone.
Yeah.
There's the keys are running.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
well, the kid,
dude knew.
yeah. Well, the kid then revealed his eyes, showing that he had no pupils; they were just all black, and then demanded that he get let in. This freaked the kid out, so the kid then got like down on the floor, kind of like trying to hide almost.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you're in a car in broad daylight, you can't really hide. But
I'm so sorry. I can just imagine this kid like going down into like the floorboard and being like, "If I can't see him, he can't see me. He has no eyes."
exactly, I think that's what the kid was thinking. But the whole time, this black-eyed kid, also known as Beck or BEK,
Who named them?
I don't know. I assume Brian Bethel, since he was the first one to come out with this. But
Don't name these entities. Leave them as just give them their ominous what they are. Don't like give them especially like why not just give them like stupid names like, "Oh yeah, I saw this demon. His name was I don't know. His name was Paper Towel." I don't know. Or like give it like a dog name. Like, "Oh, his name was like Spot." You know? Okay,
well,
continue.
the entire time that the mom was in there getting her hair done, this BEK had sat there and banged on the window, and apparently gone in. The women inside of the salon later told him that a child had entered the salon and asked his mom for the car keys. Which
Weird.
That's the scariest detail in my
Yeah,
opinion. That
well,
like,
I think that's like the weird part because it's like it's not like just the kid, or it's not like just the
mm-hmm,
person in the car who like saw it. It's like a real thing several people saw.
mm-hmm. Even Shane Dawson claims he had an interaction with the black-eyed kids, which
Don't worry, trust that. Nope.
here's why I'm skeptical of that. So, my first video on Life in Technicolor was on Have You Ever Dreamed This Man? Which is a whole nother episode. But
Oh
what
boy.
people don't know about that is that entire story is a hoax, and I purposely
Oh,
didn't put
really?
that. Yeah, that whole thing's a hoax. But I don't say that in my videos because I like to
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that
Well,
it's
yeah,
more
it's like a
entertaining.
creepy pot. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's more entertaining if you think it's real.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Ever Dream This Man, he did a video where he talked about it, and he claimed that he had a dream with the man in it.
Okay, Shane.
So I was like, after that, I was like, yeah, I don't trust any information that you give me.
That's just kind of like in general, like.
Yeah.
And then these kids went up to my car door and Ryan, what do you think happened? That was my best Shane Dawson impression.
This is my best Shane Dawson impression. Okay, you gotta imagine me drinking a Diet Coke. OMG, me. I'm not a fan of his anymore.
No.
But his story goes that he was home alone one night when a black-eyed child came up to his doorbell, rang the doorbell claiming to be selling magazine subscriptions. Which is funny because this quite possibly could have been me. I used to sell magazine subscriptions when I was in Boy Scouts. So this was probably me. And yeah.
Black-eyed gunner.
But he then explained that the kid didn't have the booklet with him that showed off the like magazines that he was trying to sell. and
What?
that he asked Shane to let him come inside the house to make a phone call. And the kid, like Shane was like, "No, it's the middle of the night. I don't want a kid coming into my house." So the kid took off his hood to reveal that he had black eyes. And Shane was like, "Oh my gosh, yes," and like opened the door further and then slammed it in my face because this was me. I'm not a black-eyed kid, Shane. I was just trying
I
to
was
raise
just
money.
trying to sell some magazines for Boy
Yeah,
Scouts.
I was just trying to go to the space museum, man. Like, um, but yeah, that was Shane Dawson's interaction with the black-eyed
Okay,
kids.
I'm so sorry. I gotta just do a quick pause here. If you were like in your house or in your car, whatever, and some kid like walks up to the door to your window and like taps on it and it's like, "Hey, can I come in?" And you're like, no, this is my car." And then the kid the kid takes down his hood and reveals he has black eyes, like just like, what? Like like wouldn't that creep anybody out or just make you be like,
Exactly.
what a weird child.
I think I
Like
would just be kind of like taken back, and then I'd be like, "You just want to borrow my phone? Like,
you like you like
you can
crack
borrow
the
my
window, you
phone."
like crack the window slightly and you're just like, okay, make sure you catch it, don't let it drop. Boop and I don't know. The kid, it's actually like not a black-eyed kid. It's just a regular kid and just runs off with the phone. And you're like, oh no, dang it! I thought you were one of those black-eyed kids. Gosh, dang
Mm.
nabbit.
You get back here with my phone, Jimmy.
You like exit your car and you're like, gotta get him. Come back here. Gosh,
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
anyway, continue.
Now, a lot of these stories do include a Men in Black later on coming forward to question people
Oh, really?
on if it happened. Yeah, a lot of people have claimed that Men in Black have shown up and
Mm.
questioned individuals about their stories with the black-eyed kids, you know, which typically pretty much end with the Men in Black saying, "No, you didn't. This didn't happen."
Oh wait, I'm so sorry. Sorry to pause you again. I love how like I've seen Men in Black or whatever, but I love how Men in Black's entire purpose is just like to gaslight people. No, I swear I saw a UFO. Yeah, you didn't. No, I swear it was right there. A little alien came out. No, sir, it's just something you saw. Don't don't think that's what it was, sir. That was just some, thing NASA's been working on. No, I swear it was from outer space. Nope, no, it wasn't. You never saw it.
They literally just girl boss if you think about it. I mean, they
No, they
gaslight you saying that you
gaslight.
didn't see it, and then they gatekeep having these experiences. They're like,
They
"No, you didn't
gatekeep the
have this
info.
experience," you know. So they're gatekeeping that, you know. So in a way, they're just girl bossing. We
The
should be
new
supporting
gaslight
this, Katie.
gatekeep girl boss is just Men in Black.
We should be in full support of this, Katie. I mean, aren't you an advocate for equal rights? I know I am.
Oh my gosh, like there's a like oh my gosh, can you imagine like a new like feminist I guess it would I guess it wouldn't be Men in Black if it was women. I was gonna be like,
Women
oh,
in
like the
black.
Women in Black. Yeah, I guess it is what they call it. But can you imagine like women? It's like Women in Black, gatekeep girl or gaslight girl boss coming to a theater near you.
That's what
And
the
then
whole slogan should have been for that movie with Chris Hemsworth and the girl that played Valkyrie when they were the Men in Black. You know what I'm talking about?
no.
Oh, it was like 2 years ago. I think it was a Men in Black sequel, but
Oh really?
yeah, I never
Oh,
saw it though.
okay. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, um, here's where I get skeptical. Some people have the stories that include Men in Black, but other people have had stories where children in all white will show up after these black eyed kids and ask for the story after you explain it to you to them, they apologize and say that you won't have that problem anymore. Some people believe these to be like angels and like the black-eyed kids to be demons, you know. I'm a
No,
little
they're actually just like assassins. Like they're just like getting info on these kids. They're like, "Hey, do you know what did you see that one of those black-eyed kids? You know, the black-eyed kid is just like trying to like find some cover from this assassin. Like, let me in your car, sir. Let me in." And
turns out they're just like they're the wealthy kids that bully the poor kids.
you won't have that problem anymore. It takes them out.
I like to think that like they're at lunch and he like pours the milk carton on the black-eyed kid's head and he's like, at least now you smell better.
Oh my god, these poor black-eyed kids are just getting bullied.
Justice for the black-eyed kids.
That's so funny.
Oh man. But yeah, that's all on the black-eyed kids that I really have, but I did want to touch on this. Brian Bethel, the original writer, the original person that like blew the whistle, I guess, on black-eyed kids. He had an experience very similar to myself whenever he was a small child, where one night when he was staying with his grandparents, in the middle of the night, at night whenever they would go to bed, they would watch TV in the bed, and whenever they were tired enough to go to sleep, his grandpa would just reach down and unplug the TV, you know, instead of getting up and turning it off. So one night, middle of the night, Grandpa unplugs the TV. They all fall asleep, you know. So in the middle of the night, the kid wakes up and the TV slowly turns on just by itself. And sitting in the screen are these two Muppet-like characters who had like human teeth. And they were trying to get Brian to approach the screen. And of course, Brian was scared of him, so
Are you serious?
Yeah, this is a true story.
This is scarier than all the rest of it.
Exactly. So Brian was, of course, like scared, you know, trying to get away from him, you know, and they're slowly getting more and more agitated with him, trying to get him to come up to the TV for whatever reason. He won't do it. And this happened just until I guess they got bored and the screen turned off, you know. And that actually reminded me of a story from my childhood, which I probably have told you this before.
I don't recall any stories that are any similar to that.
Okay, because I told this story on the Burnt Toast podcast like a year ago. I'm pretty sure I told this story.
Well, time for a retell.
So one night, this had to have been like 2002, 2003. I was no, it would have been later than that because I think my brother was born by this. He was born in 2004. So, we had one of those blocky. This was like before like flat screens were really a thing. Yeah. You remember then? You're not that young. So, in my room, I had this block TV, and you remember how whenever you turn on TVs or you like turn them off back then, they would kind of start like in the middle and they'd be real small and then they'd blow up kind of until they filled up the screen, and it would just be like real fast.
Yeah.
Well, that happened, and what was on the screen was this like creature, and this could have easily been a dream. Keep in mind, I was like 3-4 years old, you know. What was on the screen was this like Muppet lobster looking thing, and like he had like human like eyes is what I remember specifically. I remember he had human like eyes and he had human like teeth, and he kept trying to get me to come up to the screen. And that's what freaked me out, is how similar these stories were, because I thought this was just like a nightmare for the longest amount of time.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, that was like something that just like happened, and then you like read this and you're like, oh,
yeah. And he kept trying to get me to come up to the screen, and I wouldn't do it. And finally, I just got so scared that I ran into the living room and just kind of like dove onto my couch, like is completely dark around me, but I'm laying there on my couch. And then I heard the TV click on and like looked over at it and saw that it was starting to like blow up.
Mm.
So I remember screaming and then it shut off real quick.
That was scarier than the whole black-eyed kids thing.
Mm-hmm. Now, I should probably talk to my parents about that to see if they remember anything
You're
like
like,
that.
hey, was this instance actually real?
Like, do you remember me screaming in the middle of the night? Like, if so, like, why didn't you come check? Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, that's scarier than the black-eyed kids too, especially because like I have a story similar to it. But
Yeah.
I saw I saw very few stories similar to that online. But there were stories of these Muppet creatures tapping on kids' windows and
What?
showing up on the TV screen, or like, yeah, like I can't believe you've never heard of this. Because I
No.
thought I told you about it. I could have sworn I told
No.
you about it.
Uh-uh.
But yeah, they would show up at like the window in the middle of the night and like tap on the glass, or they'd show up in TV screens. I haven't heard of anything involving like a tablet yet, but like I would be very interested in like 20 years to find out that these iPad kids are like experiencing these like Muppet creatures showing up on their tablets.
That'd be
Like,
scary.
man.
That'd be even worse. But it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like a TV. It's like everywhere.
Exactly.
Huh.
So, Miss Katie, what is your verdict on the Black-Eyed Kids?
I don't know. I'm kind of getting false vibes.
A lot of people speculate that maybe they have something to do with skinwalkers.
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of stories showing up around the New Mexico and Appalachia area involving black-eyed kids, which I probably should have already mentioned.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe that. I mean, like, that would make a lot more sense to me than just, like, some random demon people's windows and being like, oh, darn it, I just missed that movie. Can you get me right home, sir?
Right. Some
It's
people
still,
speculate them to be some sort of demon, since
yeah, like the no eyes. Or eyes are just, like, black eyes.
black eyes.
Interesting. I don't know.
Can't
I
believe
think
you've
it's
never
weird. I
heard
think
of
it's
them.
also, yeah, no, I also think it's weird, though. Well, the only reason I don't want to say it's Skinwalker is because, like, they have these hoods. And
Mm-hmm.
then once they like reveal their eyes, they're able to like mind kind of not control people, but like influence them or whatever.
Right.
And I feel like a skinwalker couldn't do that.
Katie, the skinwalker expert.
Skinwalker mind magic. It's my forte. It's my major actually. Right in
It
my
defies who I am.
It's who I am. Funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, with Shane's story, I mean that was just me. But okay, the one time I think maybe this was just like a kid, and then the second time maybe a coincidence. But whenever the internet is flooded with these stories, there's got to be some truth to it.
Well, okay. Yes and no. I feel like okay, like think about like your story. Like I'm not like discrediting your story in any way.
Right. Mine could
Someone
have been
can
a dream.
say, well, yeah, like someone can like say. I mean, it'd be really weird that people have okay. I feel like your instance is very specific, especially with like and things like that. So I feel like it'd be very weird for like your thing to like, oh, everyone had the same dream. Like that's a weird thing. But
Yeah.
yours could have been a dream and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And like you said, there's very few things about your topic, but like for a thing like that where there's like, I feel like it could easily have been I had a very similar situation to that, where it was just kind of similar.
Hmm.
I don't know. I do think the one kid's mom getting her hair done story is weird. Like, I feel like that one's just kind of odd, just because,
There were
like,
several people that saw
yeah,
it.
like it's because then you could have been like, oh, it was just a kid, kids
Hmm.
make things up or whatever. It was the fact that like someone walked into the store and was like, hey, can I have the kid the keys to your car?
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Which kids do some weird stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. It's definitely something interesting though. Yeah, I've actually a story similar to that actually.
Mm.
But weird. Like, I
The
don't know.
next time
You go.
the next time we're together, I want to take a photo that we can edit into making it look like we're black-eyed kids.
No, we gotta so we gotta take the photo and then at the bottom write black eyed peas and then cross out the peas and write kids underneath. I'm
See,
so
the whole
sorry.
thing becomes
Every time
unscary
you
if
said
you
black eyed peas throughout this entire thing, my brain was like black eyed peas.
boom boom pow.
um, I don't know. And then like with the whole I also think it's weird that like there was differences between like Men in Black and then this white kid no this white
Yeah.
kid it's like what
This
this
white boy.
white like like figure kind of showing up.
Once you said that, it hit me that this happens to be the whitest podcast ever, you know.
Oh my gosh, please don't mention that to me. Oh, I have a story to tell you, but it's for
Yeah.
later.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know, it could be true, sure, but maybe.
Well, should we wrap up this podcast then?
I
Alrighty.
that was think about your weird Muppet real teeth story.
Well, I'll end it on kind of a sappy note, if that's all
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Well, unless you want to go ahead and say anything that you want to say about Christmas or anything, because this will probably be the last one before Christmas.
Happy holidays. This holiday song. Yeah. That's your new holiday song, everybody. Listen for it on the radios.
We'll record that as Milky White.
Really? Like release it on a holiday album.
I'm so excited to get Milky White back together. Like, I don't
It's gonna
think
be a
you
good time.
understand. Like, I have
I'm
written so
stoked.
much stuff. Like, but what I wanted to say about Christmas, is, I'm not really a Christmassy person. I've
Yeah.
never really been into Christmas.
Mhm.
But the other day, I was listening to that song, "I'll Be Home for Christmas,"
Dude, that yeah.
and it made me really sad because I was thinking about how, a lot of people won't be able to make it home, whether or not it has to do with like COVID. Like somebody
Oh
might
yeah.
be, they might be, like what's the word? It's too late
I
for
don't know.
this.
Can't read your mind from states away.
Yeah, somebody might be easily exposed, I guess. I don't know.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
trying to say.
Yeah.
There's that, and there's of course people that just won't be able to make it home this year for other
Yeah.
reasons. Whether or not like you don't have a good relationship with your family,
Mm-hmm.
or you just can't get off work or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or you just like in my situation where I'm in a place that I really, really don't want to be. And I'm working super hard on changing my circumstances and getting out.
Yeah.
But it takes time.
Oh yeah.
So with that, I guess I just wanted to say, no matter what your situation is, have a good Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever it is you celebrate.
Have a good little
And
holiday.
try to make the best of whatever you have. And where you are right now is just where you are, not where you'll always be. So just try to remember that and try to stay strong and have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Have a happy holiday.
Because I'm going to have a blue Christmas without you. Katie Every. I don't know the lyrics. It's I'll be blue. Well, Katie.
This will also be on the holiday album. Buy it 2022.
So it'll have to be Brandon singing it since it's Blue Christmas and he's like
that's true. It's
blue.
True. Brandon, it's a Brandon blue Christmas. I've got the blues.
Which reminds me, I had this idea the other day. I really want to do an episode where it's you, me, Cassidy, and Brandon, because Brandon likes scary stuff. So I think it would be funny if everybody brought something scary.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Because something tells me Cassidy really isn't into the like scary stuff. So I just think it would be funny to like be talking about it and then be like, is Cassidy still here? Because she'll probably just get quiet. Like,
yeah. That's funny.
You missed it whenever you had to leave the last time we hung out, because I think Brandon got there like right after you left. But Cassidy showed us that she had mace on her keys or something like that. Like, I don't really remember how it came into conversation, but it came into conversation that she had mace on her keys. And I was like, I'll give you $20 if you pepper spray Brandon right now. And he's like, what's in it for me? And I was like, I'll give you $20 too. And he was like, Cassidy, do it. And she was like, no. And like it turned into like me raising the like amount of money that I would pay her to do it.
What was Brandon, the top?
I think it got up to $100. And it just got to the point where Brandon was like, you can even have my money. I just want to see if you'll do it. And she's just sitting there like, no. Like,
gosh dang, I would have done it. I have pepper spray on my keychain. I would have been like, better cough up that money, Gunner. Brendan, give me your eyes. Like,
it was like 1 a.m. and we're just sitting there like pepper spray him, and he's like, no.
That would have been so bad, but kind of funny.
Yeah.
This man would have been like dying.
It was really funny. Well, alrighty, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Surely the next episode won't take 6 months to get out.
It's okay. I got caught up with the Black Eyed Kids. That's why it took so long.
Yeah,
me and the Black Eyed Kids were there. We were hanging.
Yeah, me and Fergie, things are getting pretty serious between Fergie and I.
I'm hanging with the Black Eyed Kids. You're hanging with the Black Eyed Peas. You know.
Yeah.
We're hanging.
We're hanging.
Okay, well, I hope you all have a happy holiday, and maybe send a Christmas card to your uncle's son's second neighbor this holiday.
Or send one to your stepsister.
Yeah.
All right, guys. As always, be nice to each other.